Really the biggest mistake that I made with this bike is all right, welcome. Today's video is a special video. It's a celebration video because it's somebody's birthday, not my birthday. It's my motorcycle's birthday. Today is 1 year from when I picked up the Road Glide, and what a year it's been. So I'm going to show you, kind of walk through like, the first year of ownership, what that's been like. We're going to talk about it. This bike has been awesome, but I'll kind of talk you through good, bad, indifferent, things I like, things I don't, things I've changed, and we're going to do it around Lake Minnetonka, which is one of the most famous lakes in Minnesota. It's the 9th biggest lake, famously mentioned by Prince in the movie Purple Rain. It's too cold to go purify myself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka, as Prince suggested. But it's a beautiful lake, particularly in the summer. It's a big lake, tons of canals, bridges. So we're going to make our way around the lake and talk about my bike. One cool thing that I will mention, since we're standing here, is you can see, I don't know if you can really see, right over here there's some white condominiums. That whole area right there from like 1925 to 1960s, I think early 70s, actually was an amusement park. It was the Excelsior, I'm in Excelsior, Minnesota, was the Excelsior amusement park. There used to be a roller coaster. This was actually in the 20s. This was the end of the streetcar line from Minneapolis. It came out here, so families would ride out from Minneapolis and go to the amusement park. Now it's condominiums. There's a really well-known restaurant that you can sit on the water. People drive up, ride up. Actually, people boat up too. It's called Maynard's. If you're ever in the area, you should certainly stop and eat there. That's a cool spot. So yeah, let's hop on this bad boy. This is celebrating 1 year old, and talk about how it's gone. Let's go. All right, here we go. Hop on the bike. We're gonna ride past downtown Excelsior. I'm gonna show you that, which is a really cool downtown area. And then we're going to head around the lake. And like I said, talk about this bad boy. And it's been an awesome year. I have loved this bike. Just to give you a quick rundown of some things that I've done to it. I've got a Clockworks front fender. I've got a Clockworks windshield on right now. Thrashing bars, Memphis Shade handguards, Screaming Eagle, all Screaming Eagle engine work. I've got the Screaming Eagle air cleaner, the Screaming Eagle 511 cam. Right now I'm testing out a Lapera seat, and I had a Lapera seat on my last bike. I've been running a Saddleman for most of last year, which was great. Little hint, I've got a video coming about which is the best seat, and so I'm doing a little bit of work on trying out this, borrowing the Saddleman from a buddy of mine to compare it, the Lapera, sorry, but just borrowing this Lapera from a buddy of mine to test it out. And so look for that video coming. And then I got Chromeworks slip-ons with performance baffles, which I really like those too as well. And then I did the rear engine guard, which these things, again, worth their weight in gold. I've got the Rack Pack passenger backrest, also known as the Insta360 mount. And yeah, that's pretty much that's everything. I also got my NOS tank. Did that video. And then yeah, and then I'm also, next thing I'm doing actually is I'm going to do switch out the foot controls. I got some thrashing stuff coming, so look for that video in the near future as well. So all right, enough talking. Let's get on the road. right, here we go. There's Maynard's, like I told you. That's packed as usual, even on a slightly cool afternoon. This is the main area of where that park was, and I'll drop a photo. If I haven't already earlier, I'll drop one right here. You can see kind of some old photos of what it looked like. It was pretty cool. My dad actually remembers going there as a kid. So this whole area here and up to the lake was all the amusement park, and basically it closed because they didn't have enough space to expand. And by the 70s, there were a lot of Six Flags and they had to close. But there's some pretty cool stories. The Beach Boys played there. This whole area was packed. It was like right at the height of the Surfing USA. And here's the port of Excelsior, where they do a lot of little boat tours. And then we'll go downtown here. A lot of outside spots to eat. So this, the Beach Boys concert, I guess, like went out into, I just accidentally turned the bike off. There were thousands of people spread out into the street. They also had a little band called the Rolling Stones play here. But then they didn't promote it, and it was too early. It was early 60s, I think. And like 200 people showed up. So those 200 people have a pretty awesome story to tell. So you can see a really cool little downtown area. We come down here a lot. It's a beautiful little place. And we'll dig in. We'll start talking about the bike when we get a little bit farther around the lake here. And you got some good lake views. So hold on. All right, we're just about to get around the lake, or through the middle of the lake. What's cool about Lake Minnetonka, and I don't know if you can see on the map, but there's all these bays and all these roads kind of snake through the bays. So it's a really fun little ride as you kind of hop and skip through these peninsulas. So that's the area that we're going to right now. But the reason that we're here, let's talk about the reason that we're here, and that is my 2024 Whiskey Fire Road Glide. And I have to say, like I said, it's 1 year old. I picked it up last April. I had unfortunately had to retire my 2019 Road Glide unexpectedly due to some gravel and tar. And here's a lot of little inlets here. There's a lot of areas like this. It's just beautiful in the summer. Things are still a little bit dead here in April, but, and I gotta say, there's so many. Oh, hey, Lamborghini. There's some really, really big houses out here also. Maybe I'll show you one or two. So there's some money out on Lake Minnetonka. Unfortunately, the internet can be largely a negative place, and I see so many people asking in Facebook groups and on YouTube, well, is it worth buying a new Harley? All I hear are problems, and everybody that I know that has bought one has had an awesome experience. A couple little things here or there. I have not had any issues. This has been a great bike. I'm coming up on 8,000 miles, and I have greatly enjoyed this motorcycle. It's been awesome. I really loved my 2019, particularly the Wicked Red denim. There you go. There's a little bit of the lake. I really love that bike, but so I went with the Whiskey Fire as the replacement, and I have loved it. The ride modes are amazing. Just the technology in this bike is fantastic. Worlds better than my other bike. Now, my other bike, I had a 475 S&S cam in there. That sucker was rowdy. Like I said, I went with the Screaming Eagle one this time around, and I've been really happy with it. It's a powerful cam, but it's way more rideable. The 475 was just an absolute monster, but it for long trips and anything that wasn't basically like racing from stoplight to stoplight, it just, you know, is very twitchy. So I wanted something that was a bit smoother on the power delivery, and I've been happy with it. I'm trying to think of what other things I can say about this bike. I mean, again, the technology that you get out of the box is just awesome. The Milwaukee 8 continues to be just a rock star of a motor. You know, like being able to see all the ride info, like with TPMS. I did get the nav, which actually, right now I'm using CarPlay. But on long trips, I'll bounce between this and the nav because that's nice to have. And it just rides super smooth. I mean, one other big upgrade that I could talk about too is the suspension. And, you know, suspension kind of ends up being a little bit of a witchcraft. Everybody has a suspension specialist. This bike has a much better suspension, retuned front, completely new rear, and I can feel the difference between this and my old bike. It just has, it's a lot, it just absorbs the bumps a lot better. It's stiffer in corners. And I had my stock suspension on my 2019 was like one that was built on like the supervisor's birthday or something. That thing was amazing for a stock suspension. That thing was such a rock. And I put Legends on after a while just to try it out, and those were fine. But this, I don't know. I would like to get an inverted front suspension at some point, and I wouldn't mind doing the Öhlins in the rear. But for stock suspension, this is solid. All right, we're coming up, we cut across another peninsula. We're cutting through this one. This is another bay on the lake here, and it's just beautiful. Again, actually what's nice now in even though everything's brown, is there's no leaves, so you can see the lake clearly, which is awesome. So I dig that. Let's see, what else about this bike? I know everything else, like the looks, the LED lights. I just can't say enough how happy I have been with this bike. It's been a great year. The only probably downside is that I just didn't ride it as much as I wanted. I usually, and in Minnesota, you know, you lose 6 months of the year-ish, but I usually can get 10 grand, and I was a couple grand short. So that's the goal for this year, is to get over 10. We'll see what happens. I got some couple big trips coming up, some big rides, so that'll help. But that's really the only thing I have. It's been a great bike. It's been rock solid. I've really, really enjoyed it. All right, we took off. We went off on a little side path here. There's a little side road that goes right along the edge of the lake. Some beautiful homes, as you can see. Pretty awesome setup right here. And a beautiful view of the lake. I mentioned it already, but I'll say it again. I can't say enough how much I love the ride modes. And I think that's something that maybe some people are a little skeptical of. But they make a difference. There's a significant difference between road mode and sport mode. And then the custom mode, if you dial it all the way up, you think like, maybe it's like, I don't know if I can tell the difference between that and sport mode. And you can. I call it like ludicrous mode. It's just ridiculous. And then rain mode is awesome in like dirt or wet weather. You know, drops the power by 20%. The ride modes are worth their weight in gold. All right, coming up over our first bridge here, and you can see water on both sides. There's so many of these crossings on the lake. It's really just like a network. It's not one big lake. It's a bunch of bays that are all connected by the canals. Well, another little fun history fact is that 2 of the bays on Lake Minnetonka are named after relatives of mine, which we found out probably 10 or 15 years ago, which is pretty cool. Well, this won't be the last time I come here. This is the first ride along the lake. just to celebrate the bike's birthday. And I will be back many, many times this summer because it's just one of the most beautiful places to ride in the Twin Cities. All right, we're just gonna ride a little bit here, and then we'll pull over and have a final chat about the bike. We made it to the other side of Lake Minnetonka, which is Wayzata. And whereas Excelsior is the swanky, or the Excelsior is like the, maybe kind of like the blue collar, quaint downtown. Wayzata is the opposite of that. Steakhouse, name brand stores, fancy restaurant over there. But it's fun. It's a cool place, and it's literally opposite side of the lake. I was right over there, so straight across there is where Excelsior is, and me and the Road Glide made it over here. Had a great ride. It's a little cloudy, but it's warm, so I don't care. I'm out. We're out here celebrating. And as far as that goes, you know what? I was trying to think in the last 15 minutes how I was going to wrap this up. And really, all I would say is if you're on the fence, go test ride one of these, and then you're going to end up getting one because it's a great machine. It really is. I've had an awesome first year with this thing. Totally, while as much as I love my last bike, this bike is better in basically every single way. The only way that it's not is I really miss that Wicked Red denim. Really the biggest mistake that I made with this bike is I went with the Whiskey Fire. And it's not to say that the Whiskey Fire is not a nice bike or not a nice color. It is. But I think I should have done a palette cleanser. I should have gone black or gray, maybe even white, just to take a break and then come back to the red. But it's a beautiful bike. I like it. And I can't wait to take it on the road this summer. Like I said, plans are to get a lot more miles this year. Video-wise, we've got a bunch of other stuff coming. And looking ahead to at some point, probably later this summer, early this summer, we're doing Southern Colorado and New Mexico, which is going to be an awesome ride. I cannot wait. It's been a few years since we're going to do Pikes Peak. We're going to go into New Mexico. We're going to do a couple national parks that I haven't done yet, which is awesome. And so we're going to, and the cool part is we are going to ride the whole way. A lot of times we'll, now and then, depending on the trip, we'll throw bikes on a trailer just to blitz it one day. But the way this worked out, we're just going to roll from Minnesota, basically 900 miles to Colorado, ride for 5 days, and then haul it home. So going to really put some miles on this bike this summer, which is awesome. So stop making excuses. Go get yourself 2024, 2025. You will not regret it. It is amazing in every single way. Better suspension, ride modes, it's power. All of the infotainment is amazing. The way it integrates with CarPlay and the maps. The stock seat is better, and I'll go through that in the next video. Like I said, I'm teasing you. The next video is coming. Is going to break down a couple different seat options for you. It's a better bike in every single way. They really did a great job redesigning the 24s, and now the new bikes kind of going forward on the touring platform. So get out and ride. That's it. Let's go. Until the next one. See ya.